You know, I've owned lots of Canon cameras over the years. In fact, I've still got a couple. I got this. I've even got this. But this, now this is something else. Now this is not a typical camera review as such, and it's not going to be one of those reviews where I go through all the specs and all the operation or anything like that. This is more about what it can do. It's a camera that's been, well, there's been a bit of criticism about it, but no bad cameras, okay? No bad cameras. I'm going to take it out for a bit of a walk around in a nice garden setting. In fact, we will go to the St Kilda Botanical Gardens. Lots of greenery, lots of dappled light. It'll be lovely. In natural light, the Canon V10 does an okay job in auto of capturing the essence of the gardens, yet challenges arose. The image was a little flat and mushy, but yet acceptable. Always helpful. It was then I was asked directions to the water tap. A water tap. I only come to this park every now and again. I think there's one where the weird palm trees are. Weird palm trees. Yeah, there is a water tap around there, which is in the centre of the park.
Oh, okay then.
All right, I think so.
All right, thanks.
So I'm now going to turn the camera on to full manual mode. We'll have the ND filter on. We'll return the stabilisation to standard and see what it looks like. So far, this camera is light and it's really easy to hold. You don't feel self-conscious filming yourself, and the place that I live in, Melbourne, people have a tendency to shy away from cameras, sometimes rather aggressively. Okay, so image stabilization is back on. ND filter is set to on. I've also set the aperture to 2.8. It's at 30 frames per second, so the speed is at 60, keeping to the rule. Now, what I've also done is underexposed by one stop. From all the research that I've done on this camera, it seems to be that it has a tendency to overexpose. I'm going to go for a little bit of a walk now. We'll be going through some highlighted areas and some shady areas. I'll be sticking to the shady areas because I think this is where this camera really, really thrives. Okay. The centre of the park and the weird palm trees. I wonder if she found the water tap. So going through some different areas now of the park, both shady and dappled light, just to see how the sensor reacts to highlights. Keep in mind I've got that ND filter on and it's in manual and it's wide open at 2.8. So lucky to have a beautiful park close by to where I live. Stunning. Over here you're looking at a Moreton Bay fig tree. There are lots of these in Melbourne. They used to attract the flying foxes, but they've been kicked out of the botanical gardens in Melbourne, and I'm going to be doing a video about where they went, so that should be exciting. I'm looking forward to that, and maybe, just maybe, I'll have a 360 camera. So I'm keeping the aperture wide open. I don't know whether you can see any soft background. The camera unfortunately has really minor bokeh, if you would call it that, even though the Osmo Pocket 3 does. Now, in such a bright condition as this, with the sun quite above and blasting down, I closed down to 5.0 and yep, the ND filter was still on. Still looks pretty good. So a mixture of greenery, highlights and shade. You know, it really is a beautiful place, this. I came here just a little bit earlier. After school, it gets crazy busy. I'd be interested in the comments below if you could tell me what sort of plant this is. Despite this camera's criticism that's been on YouTube and also around the net, I was just attracted to how small it was. It's really compact, and it's even got these microphones, and I've got to admit the sound quality is great. And I've even got a muff or two. I'm pretty self-conscious about walking around with a camera, talking and vlogging in public, and so this little camera was great for that, because it doesn't draw too much attention to yourself. If you walk around with a big DSLR or even like a large mirrorless camera like the Sony's, you tend to gain a lot of attention. In Melbourne, Australia, walking around with a camera, especially in the city, let me put it this way, it can cause a bit of attention to yourself, and sometimes in not the way you would expect. So I'm loath to walk around with a big camera in public these days, considering what's been going on in the world today. So I'm going to stick with this camera for a while anyhow. Now, I could have got the Osmo Pocket 3 like everybody else did, but the camera was such a cute looking camera, and it was cheap at the time that I bought it. And so I was drawn to both size and price and Canon colors. Plus, it also has a neutral density filter, and it works pretty well. You won't get a lot of soft bokeh or soft background, but you'll get a little bit. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the camera's image and especially the colours. Now, all the footage you've seen has been graded, and it was graded, would you believe, in Apple's photo editor. Yes, that's right, Apple's iOS photo editor. Surprisingly, it does a really good job. I couldn't believe it. I'm going to keep on using this camera because I think it's actually a pretty good camera. It's small, it's compact, I can put it in my pocket, doesn't draw too much attention, and I may even upgrade to the Osmo Pocket 3. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.